Quality in a service is not what you put into it. It's what the customer gets out of it. Our focus should be on our clients, not on how hard we work, but on how well we serve them and solve their problems. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you ever encounter clients who are dissatisfied with your services or frustrated with your handling of their matter? How do you ensure that your clients have realistic expectations about their case outcomes? Do you maintain regular and open communication with your clients? Does handling client complaints cause you stress in any way? And how would it be? How would it be? What would it be like if your clients were just thrilled with your services and happily referred you to others? The key to a thriving legal practice is truly the strength of the relationships that you build. And I know for me, my client relationships were just very special to me. I knew that my success in law had so much to do with how we connected with each other, how we communicated, how much they appreciated me. Welcome to the Free Lawyer Podcast. I'm your host, Gary Miles. The Free Lawyer Podcast is designed for the lawyer, entrepreneur, or professional who is in some way unfulfilled, stressed, or stuck, and is looking for something better. We will discuss various blocks that limit us from achieving the personal freedom that we all desire, but have not yet fully experienced. And we will give actionable steps to free yourself from them. Are you looking to achieve a new level of success? If so, this podcast is for you. Hey everybody, happy Monday. I hope each of you had just a wonderful weekend and that this is setting up to be a good week for you. Welcome to the Free Lawyer. I'm your host, Gary Miles. I've been practicing law for 45 years. And my passion today is to help you be as successful and free as you deserve, to turn that stress into success and that frustration into freedom. And I'm here to help you do that. Each episode, I try to share messages that are helpful to you. Mondays, I have a solo episode. And Thursdays, I bring a guest who hopefully can share some information you find enlightening and encouraging. For those of you who listen regularly, I appreciate you so much. And I thank you for all the support you give me. If you haven't done so far, I would love it if you could place a rating and review about my podcast. I would love a rating because it lets the podcast be seen by more people. And that's my passion, to help more lawyers enjoy the Free Lawyer. And also, if you were open to sharing it with someone you know, someone who might be struggling, someone who might need a message of encouragement, I would appreciate that. And today we're going to talk about a very important topic, one that really affects all of us, at least all of us in private practice, and that is how to build better and stronger relationships with our clients, how to enhance those clients, how to build trust with our clients, how to provide the exceptional service that they really deserve and that will help us grow our practice. So I like this quote from Peter Drucker: "Quality in a service is not what you put into it. It's what the customer gets out of it." Our focus should be on our clients, not on how hard we work, but on how well we serve them and solve their problems. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you ever encounter clients who are dissatisfied with your services or frustrated with your handling of their matter? How do you ensure that your clients have realistic expectations about their case outcomes? Do you maintain regular and open communication with your clients? Does handling client complaints cause you stress in any way? And how would it be? How would it be? What would it be like if your clients were just thrilled with your services and happily referred you to others? Building strong client relationships is essential to any of our practices, isn't it? In our competitive field, the ability to establish trust and deliver exceptional service both sets you apart, but also fosters long-term loyalty and referrals. So in today's episode, I'm going to explore 4 different areas about our relationships with our clients. The first is how to manage their expectations. The second is how to provide great communication. The third is how to provide exceptional service. And the fourth is how to handle that situation when your client is concerned or dissatisfied. And if you implement these four categories of strategies, you will create meaningful and lasting connections with your clients, leading to greater satisfaction and success in your legal practice. So let's talk first about managing client expectations. Managing their expectations is really one of the critical foundations of a good relationship with our clients, because if their expectations are outsized or off, they'll never be happy. They'll always be upset at us, always be dissatisfied. So the key is setting those expectations up front. And the first step in doing that is to understand their needs. Recognizing and empathizing their needs, their goals, and their concerns is the foundation of managing their expectations. So when you first meet with your client, take time to ask open-ended questions and listen carefully to what they have to say. Understand what their needs and preferences are, and then tailor your approach to meet them. This kind of understanding and empathy helps you obtain the important information about what your client hopes to achieve and their worries and concerns. And you can then fully understand their perspective so you can provide them with what they want. Once you have understood their needs, the second step is to set clear expectations. From the outset, it's crucial to set realistic and achievable expectations. I've seen situations where lawyers don't do that, and their clients expect them to be available 24/7, who don't respect their right to take a vacation or to have time with their family, or who expect their matter to be resolved in a day when a month is the right time frame. So clearly explain the process, the outcomes, the timings, and the cost, and speak in language that's clear to them so they fully understand what to expect. It's so important to set realistic timeframes and expectations, because otherwise they'll be disappointed and lose trust. The third key principle is to underpromise and overdeliver. Set expectations that you know you can meet or exceed. Be conservative in your estimates of how long things will take or what you can achieve. Make sure your client knows the time involved in your work, the cost involved, and the possible outcome. When you deliver results faster or better than expected, clients are more likely to be satisfied. 4, be honest about limitations and risks. Communicate any risks or limitations associated with the case. So talk about the obstacles you might face. Talk about the possible different outcomes, including the ones that aren't so good. Consider everything about your clients, both the legal aspects and their needs, and anticipate their issues and address them proactively in what you recommend. Clients appreciate honesty, and they're better prepared for any eventualities when you're honest with them. And that honesty is a cornerstone of a trustworthy and reliable attorney. So be honest about their risks, the expectations, and the costs. The fifth is provide detailed explanations. There are a lot of things they don't understand, so explain the process and the issues and your strategy in detail. Be a teacher to them, educate them about the process and their role. Ensure they understand what to expect and what their role is in, and how can they contribute to a successful outcome. So for example, in my family law cases, clients always want to know about discovery and how much things will cost. And I talk to them about, for example, just as an example, production of documents. We'll get a request for production of documents, and some clients will bring in a whole box of documents, seemingly all mixed up, and throw them on the floor and say, here they are. Other clients come in with them organized, tagged, responsive to each specific request number, and that saves us time and helps us to do a better job. 6, document everything. The documentation is very important in managing expectations. Summarize your discussions and your agreements in an email that you send to them. And that gives a reference point for both you and the client, so we make sure everyone is on the same page. 7, set milestones and deadlines. Break the case into manageable milestones with clear deadlines and share those milestones with your clients and update them as each is reached. Let them know what the next stage is and when it will happen. And keeping them updated gives them a sense of progress, that they're moving forward. And after something has happened in the case, check in with the client. Let them know where you stand and what's coming next. And that allows you to address any new questions or concerns they might have. And eighth, and maybe most importantly, manage their financial expectations. Be upfront about your costs and your billing practices. Provide detailed estimates of what you think it'll cost and explain your billing procedures, when you bill and so forth. And then bill regularly. Keep them posted on what their expenses are, what fees you're charging, and what their exposure is. If you implement these 8 tips, you can really manage their expectations. And I've learned that when we establish those expectations in the beginning, things go so much better. Effective client communication. This is the second part. How do we maintain effective client communication with our clients? And it's funny, I do all of our intake for our new family law clients in my firm. And almost every client who's already represented will say, my lawyer will never call me back. He avoids me. He doesn't answer my emails and doesn't answer my questions. And for the life of me, that makes no sense at all. We're all in business to answer our clients' questions and to be paid for that advice. Our clients have a question. They want an answer. We're in business to answer their questions and to get paid for that service. It's a win-win. So these are some crucial steps for you to follow in maintaining an effective communication process. The first is to maintain open and clear communication. And that really is the cornerstone of the relationship. Keep your clients informed and engaged throughout the legal process. Every paper I send out on a divorce case, my client gets by email. Every email, every letter, every pleading. And that keeps them updated about the progress of the case and what's going on. And that helps to build trust and makes the clients know that they're valued and respected and important. 2, provide regular updates. It's really important to update every client on every file on some regular basis, no longer than 30 days. Ideally, every 2 weeks, just so even if nothing's happened, just to tell them that nothing's happened. It keeps them informed, it stops them from asking unnecessary questions, and lets them know that you're aware of their file, and it gives them confidence in you. 3, advise of any new developments. Have there been any changes in their matter? If so, let them know as soon as it happens. Explain what happens, explain what it means. And when you give them those updates regularly, rather than waiting for them to contact you, it shows you're attentive and committed to them. So if the complaint was served, or answers to interrogatories filed, or hearing scheduled, or settlement proposal received, let the client know what happened right away and its significance. 4, respond promptly. Think it's important to have a standard response time for emails and phone calls. You don't have to answer one as soon as it comes in. You don't have to take every call from every client and interrupt what you're doing. But you should respond to every email and phone call within 24 hours. And if you can't, someone on your staff should. If a client calls or emails you with a question, they deserve a prompt answer, either the same day or at the very latest the next day. If you don't have a complete answer, if you can't respond fully, let them know that and let them know you're working on an answer. And they'll be much more satisfied when they know where they stand. 5, and again, document everything. If you talk to a client on the phone, make notes in your case management system about it. Make notes of your phone calls, your emails, and your meetings so that everything is documented and you have a record of what's been discussed and agreed upon. And finally, 6, establish emergency protocols. You can't be available with your clients at all times, but create protocols for handling urgent matters that fall outside of the regular communication schedule. Inform your clients how to get you an emergency and let them know what is an emergency. That helps to maintain expectations, and to ensure that something truly critical is addressed promptly. So keep these 6 steps in mind to really be effective in communication, because it's the single most important thing for you to have a satisfied client. Maintain open and clear communication. Provide regular updates. Advise of any developments or changes. Respond promptly within 24 hours. Document all your communications and set up an emergency system. And if you manage expectations and provide good communication, trust me, your clients will be very happy. But there's one final step, and that's to provide exceptional service. Exceptional service. So what does that mean and how do we do it? Well, the first step is to personalize your service. Each client has different goals and needs and expectations. So tailor what you do to meet the needs and expectations of each client. Make sure you know the client's preferences and you personalize your approach accordingly. Some may, for example, spare no expense to take every step needed in case. Others may have a more limited budget. Some may want more frequent updates than others. So whatever their issue is, make sure you tailor or personalize your service to each client. 2, obviously deliver consistently high quality work in everything you do. Don't send your documents out with errors in them, but be organized, do your work on time, pay attention to detail, and give that consistent quality that builds trust. 3, go above and beyond what's expected. This is so important. When you exceed your client expectations, you build such a great reputation with them. Look for opportunities to add extra value, whether it's through additional research, giving some resources, or even best, anticipating their needs before they actually arise. Send follow-up notes or thank you cards or check in after big events, and that can really make a big difference. 4, be responsive and available. Nothing is more important to a client's satisfaction than being responsive. Make sure you're accessible to your clients, you answer their inquiries promptly, and stay in good touch with them. 5, manage time effectively. We all know one of our clients' biggest concerns is what things cost, and they feel like because we're billing by the hour, every call, every second gets billed, and it's annoying to them. So one of the best things we can do is be efficient with their time and ensure that their matters are handled both promptly and cost effectively. And do whatever you can to resolve the case earlier and at less expense. And you may feel like you make less of a fee in doing that, but trust me, your client will be happy and that will bring you more clients. 6, do what you can to create a positive client experience. Have a welcoming and professional environment when you interact with them. Make sure your office is comfortable and you're organized and your team is friendly and courteous. And be warm, gracious, and respectful with the client. Listen to them carefully. Make sure you understand the emotional and personal impact of their case on them. When you listen empathetically and offer reassurance, show genuine concern, it really makes a difference. So these are the steps for really providing exceptional service. Personalize your service to your client's needs. Obviously, deliver great work. But more than that, go above and beyond their expectations. Be very responsive and very available. Manage your time effectively. Get the matter concluded as efficiently as possible. And do what you can to create a positive client experience. When you do these 3 things, when you set expectations well, when you communicate wonderfully, when you provide exceptional service, we should never have a dissatisfied client, right? Sadly, that's not the case. Sometimes they're frustrated and unhappy. So how do we handle that when that happens? Sometimes lawyers duck their clients. They won't talk to them, or they get angry, or they get frustrated. But one of the biggest problems is communication. So the first step is to listen to them actively. When your client expresses their concerns or their complaints, give them your full attention. Maintain eye contact, show your understanding, and don't interrupt them. Try to reflect on what they're saying so you truly understand Acknowledge their feelings and concerns. Using phrases like, I understand how you feel, or I can see why you're concerned, validates their emotions and shows you care. Two, stay professional. Boy, I know your client may be upset and you may be a bit annoyed and you may think it's unfair, but stay composed, be professional. Use a calm, quiet tone of voice, remain patient, and please don't get defensive or argumentative. Three, clarify and explain. Once you understand the client's concerns, you know, you can respond, but if you don't understand yet, ask clarifying questions such as, so what you're saying is, or it sounds like your main concern is, see if you really understand their main concern. And then offer explanations about what happened and why. Or address the root cause. Figure out what is the underlying cause of a client's concern so you can take steps to prevent recurrence. Allow the client to choose what's the best way to resolve it. What are the different possibilities of what we can do to resolve this situation so it doesn't happen in the future? Discuss the pros and cons of each approach and let the client decide. Or develop an action plan and then follow through on it. Whatever the client's concerns are, once you've come to an understanding of how to remedy it, create a plan, outline the steps you'll take, set realistic expectations, and provide a timeline for resolution. That way the client knows what to expect moving forward. Five, apologize when appropriate. Our initial reaction is to never apologize, that it was never our fault. And I know that was me. I often felt like everything was somebody else's fault. But if there's some way we've fallen short in not returning a call, not being responsive enough, or not being diligent, where if someone on our staff made an error or had an oversight, offer a sincere apology, acknowledge the mistake, take responsibility, and express genuine regret. And if you need to do something to correct it, then take that step. And then finally, regularly reassess and adjust the expectations of your client. Keep in touch with them. How are we doing now? Is this help with a concern you have? Is this process better for you? Check in with your client. How are they doing? How are they feeling? You were disappointed when we spoke a couple months ago. How are we doing now? Do you have any concerns? What are they? How can I remedy them? That kind of proactive communication will really be helpful. And if you implement these strategies, you can effectively resolve concerns of your clients. And when they feel like they've been listened to and heard, and you've come up with a way to resolve it, you have a stronger relationship and a better reputation with them. And your clients will feel heard and valued and confident. Enhancing client relationships is not just a strategy. It's a commitment to excellence and to integrity in your legal practice. By effectively managing your client expectations, maintaining clear and open communication, providing exceptional service, and promptly addressing their concerns, you build a foundation of trust and of loyalty. Dedication to your client's needs and well-being will truly set you apart. And it will create long-term success for you. But more than that, you'll feel fulfilled when you have such great relationships with your clients. Isn't that one of the stresses that lawyers always feel? That they feel like their clients are just a problem. If you embrace these principles, you will see your client relationships flourish. You will drive your practice to new heights of success. And you will have more achievement, more fulfillment, and more freedom than you ever remembered possible. Remember, the key to a thriving legal practice is truly the strength of the relationships that you build. And I know for me, my client relationships were just very special to me. I knew that my success in law had so much to do with how we connected with each other, how we communicated, how much they appreciated me. And they're the client, they're the folks who are paying the bill. They're the folks who drive us new business. So try to follow these steps and see if they're a benefit to you. I'm all about how to create success for you and a greater sense of fulfillment in your practice. So hopefully you found these 4 categories of steps with our clients helpful. I appreciate your being here today. I thank you so much for your support. And as always, please be well, be safe, and be free. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Free Lawyer Podcast. Wherever you are listening, if you enjoyed what I shared, please leave me a rating and review. I would appreciate hearing more about what you like best and what topics you might like me to cover in future episodes. If you are interested in experiencing a more fulfilling and a more successful life, please contact me at www.garymiles.net, where you can schedule a free discovery call with me so I can learn more about you, your challenges, and your dreams. I appreciate each and every one of you and have a great rest of your day. Thanks to all of you for your support.